those words and burned in his heart and stepped into this thing, he still had to go tear down the high places. It was not popular. Think about this. It wasn't popular. Here's an 18-year-old saying, take out all the things that you've been worshiping your whole life and burn them. Take them out and burn them. Here's a king that walks up on a mountainside and says, dig up their bones and burn them again on the altar. Somebody had to dig up those bones. And it wasn't the king, I assure you. Not because he was too good, but he had a different role. Somebody had to dig up the bones. Somebody had to go, right now, O king, this is not making sense to me because this is all we've ever known. All we've ever known is to do church this way. This is all we've ever known. But nevertheless, O king, at your word, I'm going to dig up the bones. And then other men come and say, we know why you're digging up those bones. Here's the other piece of the prophecy. And the guys digging up the bones go, are you serious? You mean there was a man of God from Judah came here and prophesied the very act that we're doing? Now they're digging up bones with a passion because they have heard the prophetic destiny open up before them and says, you're stepping into destiny. You were born to dig up those burns and burn them on the altar. When you find that prophetic destiny, it's not going to hold you back. It's going to propel you forward. Don't worry about what the others are saying. Don't worry about it. If you don't understand why, just go ahead and do it because God, had they not been digging up the bones, the men of the city probably wouldn't have came out. Activity. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Cause people to come out and say, what are you doing? Wait a second, we know what you're doing because we heard that prophecy 45 years ago. I was in, we could just hear somebody saying, I was in a mountain revival somewhere up in Townsend and a man of God came through and I can't even remember who he was, but he prophesied this would take place. We know what you're doing. Because it's been prophesied. There's people out there that's heard the word of the Lord, but they're waiting on the king to stand up and say, now is the time. The Josiah has arrived. Now is the time. The move of God has been prophesied, has now arrived upon the scene. And that's why there's such a stirring. That's why you're sensing something but can't yet define it. Here's the definition of it. God's about to do a new thing. Shall you not know it? Because it's time. So let's stand on our feet. Josh, will you bring my water? Where? Behind Zach. Water, not coffee. Jesus.
Stay behind me.
I want you to close your eyes right now and just focus upon the Lord. I want you to hear what He's saying to you. He'll speak to you. What's He saying to you about this move of God? What's He saying to you about your prophetic destiny in this move? You have one. Your name is just like Josiah's. It's already been written down in the book. When He recorded your name, that Lamb's Book of Life, I believe that He had appointments throughout your life. And all He was looking for was your agreement. Just like Josiah, when he gathered the people, he said, Lord, today we come into agreement with your covenant. I think when our name was written in that book, that those days were ascribed, and we said, yes, Lord, we come into agreement with your destiny for our lives. And then He begins to reveal, bit by bit, your destiny. What's He saying over you? You're a trailblazer. You're appointed. You're destined for this. You were born to bring glory to the King. You were born to release His glory through you as a conduit of heaven. You have authority. You've been given power. You've been given wisdom. You've been given a family to run with. You're not weird. You're normal. You just represent a greater kingdom than what anyone's seen. I can see it. Can you? Can you see it? That great army, poised, ready to move when you move. All of heaven is backing a move of God for our region. And I believe the commander is saying the time is now. This is the Kairos moment. This is the moment. Heaven's door is swinging wide. And we're saying, come in, O King of Glory, to our region. This is that moment. This is what they prophesied about. Feel the fire. Be a burning one. God, ignite fires right now. Yes. Increase the flame. Yes. Release heaven's fuel. Yes, Lord. Destiny. Watchmen, take your places.
Yes, Lord.
Father, thank you for what you're doing. If anybody has something you want to share along the lines of what's taking place, please, by all means, do so. Andrea has a mic, James has a mic.
So when I was up here painting, I heard the Lord say that there was an army rising up, and that almost that it would be His joy would obviously be our strength, and that would lead the way. But it would be, we would hear the sound. We would hear the sound of the drum beat. We would be walking to the drum beat, the heart of the Lord. As we would be walking, we would know. And in 2 Peter, it talks about, by the divine nature, adding to your faith moral excellence. But that moral excellence means to walk as an army of one, not out of line, but marching to the heartbeat. And I just heard that and I saw a picture of the mountains, and I saw joy written over it as a cloud. And I just like back in the days of Moses, even though we'd be walking through the wilderness, we have the glory cloud leading us. And I just saw that the joy of the Lord is our strength. And as we're walking, we just have joy. Even though we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, we have joy. And I just picture that as us, and we're walking, and we're just hearing the heartbeat of the Lord. But as we're walking, more people are starting to hear that same heartbeat of the Lord, that same drumbeat, and they're starting to march according to how the Lord is leading us and how the Lord is leading His people in this area. And it was weird. I drew the mountains, I painted the mountains, and Mike just kind of he was prophesying, and I was like, wow, yes, it's exactly what I was hearing, because the people, and I saw a picture of people literally stepping out of their doors of their houses, and like, what is that sound? I'm curious, I want that. I gotta walk through that, I gotta follow that. And more and more people, I just saw the righteousness of God, just hundreds and hundreds of the people that just coming out to the reality, stepping out of the caves, and you're like, oh, yes, I want that, I'm coming after you, God. And so the Lord just, and I felt like you coming to me to want to paint this was so prophetic, and just needed that. I just knew that the Lord was doing something good. So just thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing. We just say more, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing. Say more in that area. More ears to be open, more eyes to be open, Father. Let them hear your sound. Let them hear the sound of heaven and walk accordingly. March as an army of one. An army of one just marching. Even though we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, we will see the joy, we will receive the joy, and we will live by that strength, because we know that the joy of the Lord is our strength. So Lord, we thank you, God, for what you're doing. We thank you for the fire that burns by night and the cloud by day, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Somebody else, anybody?
I saw a vision of a heart that had been just ripped into shreds. And I could see God just fusing it all in together. And I feel like He was specifically speaking into churches that had splits in our region. The hearts that, from those splits, hearts were going to be mended. He's on the move of mending those hearts. And maybe not merging those churches back together, but then the damage and harm that had been done with those splits, that He's mending those hearts to bring them back into His heart, to hear His heartbeat again. I thought it was very, like you said that, Zach, about His heartbeat. I was like, that's what I heard, was for them to be able to hear His heartbeat again, that the way commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to its bone. If you take bones and you grind them together before there is tissue between them, there is a sound. It's not normally a comfortable sound. But what I kept hearing this morning, just a few minutes ago, was just the reuniting that God's kingdom has been divided. And that's what has happened, is there have been a lot. We can all say we have seen death in this county, spiritual death. We've seen it, we've experienced it. But as these bones are coming back to life, they have to be put together. There has to be the reuniting of the kingdom of God. There has to be a place where the bones come together. And that grinding process may be uncomfortable, but there will be a sound that is released through that grinding that may bring some uncomfortableness. But what happens is we continue to prophesy, we continue to declare the things that God gives us to. Ezekiel didn't have this. All he said is, God, what do I do? And God gave him the voice. And he spoke just what God told him. He didn't have it until he asked. So be sensitive to ask, God, what do we need to release? What words need to be prophesied? What words need to be declared? And listen. Listen. There will be a sound coming forth as the bones begin to come together. And as the skin begins to cover them. It is a process. But that is the great and mighty army that came forth. And when the breath of God, the Ruach of God breathed on them, they were life. And they were a force to be reckoned with. And that is what's happening right now. So be okay with the uncomfortable. Don't view it as it's not God. Don't view the tension as this isn't God. God is working, but He's having to put bones back together. If you've ever had a bone out of joint, that setting is painful. That resetting of the bone back into socket is painful, but once it's set, the pain leaves immediately. The pain is gone. When bones are in place, when every finger and every toe is put back into alignment with the rest of the body. When you go to the chiropractor, as soon as that adjustment is made and things are back into alignment, you're strong. Father, we just declare the strength coming back. We declare the life coming back. I pray, Lord, that you would give us the ears to hear what you want released, that we would be obedient, Father. We would simply go to you. God, what do you want to do? What do you want us to prophesy? What do you want us to say? What are we seeing, God? We come to you, God, not that we have all the answers, but humbly, God, speak to us and let us be obedient with the words that come forth from you. Father, I thank you for the bones that are coming back together. I thank you for the alignment that's happening, and I declare that your kingdom will be divided no more. Your kingdom will be divided no more in this county, Father. Your kingdom will be divided no more. Father, breathe. Breathe into these bones, God. Let the life begin to form. Let this army come forth out of this county that you're calling it to be. In Jesus' name.
Somebody else, while you're thinking about, come on up, give her that. What she's talking about, the bones being put together in Ephesians chapter 4, it talks about the fivefold ministry given to equip the saints. That word equip is cardizio in the Greek, and it literally means to reset bones.
I just want to share something that maybe will help those of us who are more of a quiet spirit and we don't see ourselves as warriors. So I'm like, Lord, I'm not a warrior. I don't want to be a warrior. I'm not a warrior. I'm not violent, nothing like that. Violent in spirit, you know. And so he said, love warrior. You're my love warrior.
Yeah.
You're my joy and my love warrior. And then he gave me a picture of, I'm a little girl and I'm just pegging on his robe and he just picks me up and he says, it's just a dance. It's a dance in my arms. That's what it is. It's a dance in his arms. It's not my strength or your strength or anybody's strength. And everybody's sound is different. Some of their sounds are quieter and some of them are louder and more boisterous, but they're all needed and they're all gifts. So, but we're all love warriors, even if we're more boisterous than it.
You know, we was talking about the heart and the eyes and hearing and sound. We're all familiar with 2 Chronicles 7:14 about healing the land. Brad's real passionate about how people tend to push things off on God and say, God, you finish this act, whatever it might be. But I was reading there, and I feel like the Lord wants us to understand this right here. He says, for now I have chosen and consecrated this house, that my name may be there forever. My eyes and my heart will be there for all time. And he goes on to say, then I will establish your royal throne. As I consecrated with David, your father, say, you shall lack no man to rule in Israel. And when I think about that scripture, we understand that He attends to our prayers. He hears our prayers. He's always going to be in this place, and I think He just wants me to confirm that to you guys, knowing that He is attentive to what we're saying. His heart's going to be here forever. His eyes are upon us, and He wants us to walk in that peace, knowing that. That's what I got.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? So there's some more testimonies tonight. I think we'll just continue tonight. Just stay right in this flow. I think it's hard to stop. Yeah, let's just take a break and make it 6. Guys, if anybody wants healing, prophecy, just come on up as soon as I close this out in prayer, and the guys will minister to you. Father, we thank you for all that you're doing, God. Lord, we're excited to be back, gathered together again, Father, to hear what you have to say at this time and at this hour, Father. And Lord, we're not asking you to bring everyone. We're asking you, Lord, to send those who have an ear to hear, that have eyes to see, and that's appointed, God, for this moment, and that you've called to connect with us, God. Send those tonight in Jesus' name. Amen. Anybody wants prayer, prophetic